My lives, they like to shut my lives off for disinformation, but I swear it is not disinformation when you're saying something that's just like, it's not violating federal law. And it's a matter of like source code, which means it's like a matter of fact. It's a factitious statement. It's not fictional. It's like nothing that I made up would be admissible. That would be inadmissible in court. Is something that I would say here. That sounds like a weird like precursor to something that's gonna be like really quite serious. But that's just to say, like, I'm always at that level of disclosure that I'm just like, it's my life. I could say what I want to say. And so then I'm just like, okay, well, why are they going to block my real life, like, my real life vibe is how I feel. Because I'm just vibing. I'm just telling y'all the truth out here. Like, what I say is real. I've been through some real shit. Like, and I'm able to say that stuff. And people get like real weirded out when you say stuff like that, or like you claim to know certain people and you say them in conjunction. Then people are like, oh shit. It's like Corey Feldman and shit. Like it's that kind of thing, only it's like not the same. It's like a weird thing to try to explain to people how that is, or like the life I've lived, or why it matters, and it doesn't to anybody but me and like a few other people if they really want to talk about it. Because a few other people have been through it too and they get it, and it's not weird. It's like, yep, that's what happened to me too. And then, like everything, when you start to agree with some people on too many things, then you're like, holy shit. So that's what they call that. Okay, well then that's what happened to me too. And then you're just like, damn. What does that even mean for me now? Like am I just like, what does that mean? And then it means nothing to anybody but you and a case file with your name on it if they give you a name. And it really doesn't matter if you have a name or not. It's just a number and it's just a file in a book. And it doesn't matter what the case was remanded to, or what the judge decided on, or what the freaking punishment is going to be. Because in this case, the people that didn't actually do anything. They just thought about it, and something happened to them that caused them painful things to happen. I don't really know exactly the details of why that is. It's just something that's a reactionary force to implications of harm to me, like to my person. Like people keep asking me to describe what I say when I say I'm spiritually protected, as if they want me to create like an admission of guilt or something, like I cause people harm. And that's really not the way it works. And nobody could ever say that because it's not true. I've been tested so many times to be non aggressive and non threatening. And if someone, and I've always been like honest with people, please understand that I am a spiritually protected individual. My spiritual protection is real. I'm a very calm person, but don't put your hands on me. Firmly. I have to say it firmly, because I would be irresponsible and a bully to not do that, at least that much. Because my dad was like, and when it came to spiritual knowledge and like as far as warlocks or like devils within a like Luciferian church go, my dad was like the highest of those. That's something that he didn't really call himself though, because he was a Catholic priest his whole life, even though he married and had a child. And he did that, he had a couple of those, he said. But he was like the Winchester's dad. I forget his name on the show, but he was like that. And he was related to the Winchesters too, ironically, which is kind of funny when you think about it. But Anyways, long story short, this is a true fact. And my dad, he could fire any gun. He was just like well known for it. He could hit anything. He was one of the, they'll argue, the brothers who was the best shot in the family, but clearly it was my dad. And who was Paul. And anyways, I wasn't trying to like get on a tangent about my dad, but it's what it reminds me of, just that energy of my dad, because I was like, it's like a energy of today I was thinking about what the collective energy and why I feel the way I do today, and I was like, I feel really grounded, and like I feel very like Ostara today. And I'm like, but I could just hear my dad in the background, you know, like of my mind. Like if he were here, he would be like, oh my gosh, my daughter is just like, it's ridiculous, because she comes from a line of saints and she thinks she's a pagan. Every time she thinks she's a pagan, and she's actually a Jew a long time ago too. Because I'm from the tribe of Judah, only my whole family won't admit it and says we're native. And he said, and we probably are somewhere, because he said I'm supposed to be like a, I don't know. What did he say they were? He said to me, kid, hey, Pocahontas. Hey, kid, what'd you say your name was again? I said, you know my name. You gave it to me. It's very important to you. He said, is it? I was drunk. That was like, he said to the lady this one time, he said, that was like 4 bottles of wild turkey ago. The kid's driving me home. And the lady said, how old is she? And he said, I don't know. She could be like 12 or 22. I don't know. I didn't ask her at the bar, he said. He said, I just told her I'll take her home and she can be my kid. And then we'll just go from there and see how it goes. And we got to be best friends. Now she drives me everywhere, he said. Oh my gosh, I laughed so hard. But the fact was, he was really drunk, and I did have to drive him home one time. He said it was the best time he ever had in his life, because I drove the Scout and it was terrible. He said, I told you I'd give you that thing, and then you drove me that one time. And I said, no way, she don't deserve it. And she did that to it. She abused it already. It was funny though. That was my dad. But spiritually, I swear to you, this man, he used to get phone calls in the middle of the night. I'm not joking with y'all. It was either for an aggressive animal attack, or it would be for something needing to be hunted on the mountain, or someone, or a rescue related to that. Something that needed him to go up on the mountain on horseback or on foot. And they'd helicopter in sometimes too, but that was a whole different category of rescue. Or if they had to go into the river or the lakes nearby, that was a whole other situation. But he was authorized on all of those, and as a guardian for coastal rescue too, like up in the Yukon and stuff. He was a really strong swimmer, and so Coast Guard would let him certify classes and stuff like that. He was just really, really cool. So a strong diver, and could hold his breath for a really long time and tell a long-winded ass story just like me. So it was like, that was a whole like point today. I was just like, man, I just feel like there is like a lot more oxygen for some reason in the air today. I know that sounds like a strange thing, but I feel like the ozone layer like starting to mend itself almost, is what I felt like when I described it to gosh, what is his name? I'll have to post it later, but he's an astrophysicist anyways. I said I just felt like this like nostalgic feeling where the earth went into like zero gravity for 7 seconds. And I was like, is that what's going on right now? Because like I felt this like pulsating in my ear, which is like to me a sign of like neuro like sensitivity. Like the light source changed polarity for me in my, and I recognized it with like a balance being off for a few like just split seconds, and it gave me like a disoriented feeling. So I was like, I said, I recalled your thesis where you were talking about what would happen if we like just stopped and paused for like 7 seconds in infinite wonder and then reverse polarity without anybody knowing it? Would we realize that we had gone upside down for just a moment and then be like in awe once we restart again? And I was like, you know what? I felt the hiccup, and I think some people did, because it made me feel like I was being held upside down on from some sort of contraption. Like all the blood just rushed to my head all at once. I felt like, not really though. Like that's not what happened, of course, but you could feel it. Like you could feel it in just like time and space motion. You could feel the formula shift. Like all of a sudden, this is like the only way I could describe it, is E equals MC2 squared, because it reversed all of Einstein's theory of relativity in one single moment, because it disproved the theory that gravity, should we cease to be like adherent to its rules, is the only thing that holds us from leaving the earth. And I'm like, nope, that's not true. What holds us to the earth is our spirit being anchored here in solidarity with others, when we realize that even though that could be the moment that takes all of us out, you're not going to talk about it until it's over and everybody's safe. That's spiritual ethics and journalism right there, because I knew it was coming. I felt it, and I felt it when it happened. And I was just like, yep, I just felt time skip. And I just was like, I felt that right there. Like I felt it. We like went through some sort of like, the only way I could describe that is some sort of like this portal to a like expansive future awareness, not like necessarily right now, but the knowledge that that will exist without fear. Like we will persist into a better universe in the future, and that everything that the entire planetary collective of human beings has worked, towards, as far as peace and love and harmony amongst people, is truly truly and lawfully in existence, and that justice always prevails for the good, and that we are all one people and we are all one universe. And this is proven today when we reverse polarity even for a moment, and we think about that lack of gravity and the possibility of just drifting into space. And yet here we are. That's what we do every day. And we're the Rocketeers, and we're the awesome spaceship and the space shuttle and the spaceman all at once. And here we are, just suspended on this big old ball called Earth. And we're Rocketeers just hurtling through space on our craft. And now I'm like, look at us, astronauts. That's what's up. Some of us were NASA kids. And I'm just like, I'm not saying I'm an astronaut now. I'm just saying I did do some stuff when I was young that I was allowed to do, and it was fun. But that doesn't make me that or anything now. I'm just somebody who likes to cut up and talk about the past a little bit, and how the future might not look so bleak for people. And think about it, like for kids right now, they could literally like be in SpaceX when they're older and go to the moon and the space station and just like man that up there and spend some time hanging out in space, like just sitting on the edge of the galaxy and looking down at us. And like what that would be like, just looking over your goggles and seeing Earth right there, just all lit up in all its glory, reflecting the light of the sun. And Ra just up there beaming down on all of his children on the earth. That sounds so ominous. No, it sounds kind of cool. I like it. The sun god smiling greatly over his children in a verdant and beautiful and thriving earth. Man, isn't that cool? That's awesome. It's like what they say, history repeating itself, where like everything just begins again, and then like all is forgiven and everything is just peace flooding the earth all of a sudden. Just because of something that one person might say today. They're talking about shutting down the government over ICE. It's such a bleak world for some people. And I'm not like, I'm not like, what am I saying? I'm not like trying to lessen anybody's pain right now or what's going on by any means. I'm just saying, like, it's so much tragedy every day. I wish that there was a way to just like at times fast forward all of this to the prosperous future for all of us, where a solution is found for everything. But unfortunately, that kind of world does not yet exist. And it has to be created by people like working together and trying to have common ground. You can't do that dividing up people. And, as much as some people would like to. But resources are also a problem. You can't not say that in the same breath. We're like diminished as a species, and resources are like supposedly vast, but not for all of us, not all at once. And the earth is like not infinite. It's not an infinite planet necessarily. It's renewable. You can have like renewable crops and animals and things that grow here, but you have to work at it. You have to have people that do those things and like that have farms that want to do that for the future, and it has to be lucrative enough to sustain everyone. And then you have to get into a model of government, with the agriculture. It's a lot. That's a lot to handle. Formation of countries, nation building. That is a rough one. Talk to Bernie Sanders, though. I was just telling my friend, if you want to know about anything seriously, go ask Bernie Sanders. He's been in government for so long, and he knows so much about everything. Structured spending, ask Bernie. Anything to do with accounting, ask Bernie. And if you want to know about economics, I'm telling you, if you want to know about socialism, I'm just saying, no, for real, there's literally nothing that Bernie Sanders talks about that I'm not excited about. He's like Ben Stein to me. I'm just like, I love those guys. They could talk about anything and I would just be like, yes, really? Yeah. I mean, there's nothing that Bernie Sanders has ever said that I've disagreed with. I think he's one of the only men I feel that way about. I am so seriously a nerd for him. And so I'm just like, yep, that's true. Or like Reagan and his economics talks. I'm related to Reagan. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, listen to Reagan. I think he's so great. He was so great. His economics plans were like the way of the future, I believe still. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it, kids. Save your money. Save it till retirement. Retire early. Enjoy your life. Have more fun. Eat less nasty stuff. Get fit. Eat more vegetable. He was just very sensible, and we need to grow those things more and make them more attainable and more like easily available to the public. That was the way it was. That was the way that it was done. It was simple fiefdom, serfdom, fiefdom. It worked for them. So anyways, the peasants didn't riot. Everybody got fed. I mean, I feel like that's the way that it should go. And I'm one of the peasants right now. I'm the queen with no kingdom, so to speak. I have many, but I've just never claimed one. And the ones I've claimed it on have been disobedient to me. I'm just saying. The men I really love too, it always messes with me because the ones I really fall in love with are the ones I just can't have because their people are just like so they're just such haters. I don't know what it is, if they think I'm too mean for them or they're too mean for me, or like we're just too good together. They will take over the world, one of the kingdoms of whatever we are, because it's always some next level person. I don't like people who are unintelligent or rude, so that definitely narrows the field down quite a bit. However, the ones I really like, I usually like for most of however long I know them still. I don't like look them up or nothing, but I still like them. I mean, I never like dislike anybody that I ever thought was cute. I'm just still like, I'm cool with you as long as you don't like betray me like completely. Then I mean, I'm not enemies with them. They just don't write me constantly or whatever. And I'm fine with that if they don't want to. But a couple of them, I was like 20 years ago, I was like, in 20 years, when you get this out of your system, come look me up, because I'm sure I'll be single and then I'm going to be cuter too. And people didn't believe me, but here I am, not as cute as I was back then. And And I don't even care. And I'm like, bro, but still, you look good. How you doing? I'm just playing, but sometimes those old men are cute still, and I'm just like, you know what? I did have a scorecard back then, but now I lowered my standards just a little bit, and I let one slip in, and then I regretted it instantly. So I don't do that anymore. I did that one time, and I said, "Oh, that's not what's up." Yeah. Hold on, my lip flew. My lip jewelry fell out. Yeah, I was like, do not go back to your old list, because trust me when I say it ain't the same. What is it, that song from Footloose? The same music ain't got the same soul as that old time rock and roll. Oh. It is not worth it. It is not worth it. Do not go dip in the sauce that you used to think that you wanted to dip in. Do not do it, because it is not going to be honey barbecue honey. It is going to be something that tastes like it shouldn't have been mixed together. It just does not go together. It's like honey tuna. It's just like that. It is just not the truth. So yeah, I'm like, do not ever look back. Do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. Trust me when I say, girl, no, do not do it. And clearly it's because I did it. And I was so like surprised that the rumors were true. However, also mad. Also mad. Just generally like, nope. That was not worth it. That was, and then I had to, then you gotta try like one or two more times just to be sure. Just to be like perfectly like, like, is that what I thought that was? Or like, maybe it was just me. My bad. Maybe it was just, nope. Nope, it wasn't you. No. Honey, why'd you do that, girl? Why'd you do that? Oh my gosh. So anyway, that's not the one anyway. It was not even, it was not even on my top 10 if I had a list, and that's the truth, and that's why it makes me mad too, because it was like the last one that I would have ever, like, seriously, and everybody who knows me knows this is probably true. No, it's true on my behalf, but they're like probably doubting it at this point. Just because of how it went down and how funny it kind of is now. But the thing about it is, in my defense, I was having like remorseful thoughts about being judgmental of people's pasts. That's all I'm gonna say. And I was feeling more forgiving at that point, and like almost believing someone's story. I say almost believing someone's story about things. And so I was just like, I'm willing to let sleeping dogs lie. And then I was like, oh, no, I'm not. Later on, I was just like, no, I'm not. Oh, no, I did not just hear what I thought. So anyway, yeah, that's just like a thing of the past. We'll let that go. That was just a misdemeanor life choice. That was like, it's like water under the bridge here at the Cane River. Like, oh my gosh, I am hysterical when I'm not trying, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, y'all, I'm just saying, there's that situation. But the one that I was really talking about that was on my top number one back then is actually still on my top list. I'm just like, not that it matters, but I was just like looking the other day and I was like, wow, wow. somebody has matured nicely. It's not who anybody thinks it is either. And I'm just like, this is what's so funny. Nobody would know if I had a listen, even if I did. That would just be so funny because it's so unlike me. I would just be doing it now just to get under somebody's skin, honestly. Because I have never in my life, I do not keep up with people. They can probably tell you too that they do not keep up with me, and I do not ever message them. Not because I'm rude. I just have so much going on in my life that's so like extraordinarily like shiny over here. It's not that I forget about people out of a lack of love. I'm like, I don't want to intrude on their life. They seem like they're cool. I never know. And I'm like, if they need something or they want to talk to me, or if they ever liked me and just didn't say, they should definitely speak up now. No, I'm just like, you should tell me. Because now I'm just like, you might have a chance. Not because I lowered my standards with that one-eyed guy I told you about. Did I just say that? Oh my gosh. But anyways, I'm just saying, there are a couple that I'm like, huh, my eyes weren't bad back then either. Now look at them. Still pretty good, despite how Chinese they are. And multiple other things, including Babylonian. Now that just came out recently. He might not like me anymore if he ever did, which I doubt. But if he does, hey, we got good Mexican over here. What's up? I'm just saying. Anyways, let me get off this thing and go smoke my legal cannabis and or something. I might walk to the park actually today. It's cold and dreary. That's a perfect day for the park. What did you say? All right, well, later, y'all. Wherever you are, I hope you're good. And that life is treating you nicely and fairly, and that everything is at one with you and your universe, and that that you love is blessed, and that all those who are not here with us anymore be blessed, and that their entryway to the door and the gate to heaven, that it be opened wide, and that our Lord sit with them and counsel them at the gates and give them entrance to our Heavenly Father's embrace. And we ask this in praise of your name. Amen.